なんでお前は土を振るう？
武器を撃つためだ。
じゃあどうして武器を撃つ？
生き残るためだ。
違う。俺が聞きたいのは、お前に必要なのは。
お前ら。
So I'm going to say something super controversial right up front. And what I mean by that is some are going to be like, yo, that's okay. And then some are just going to be like, yeah, whatever. And that is when it comes to Ryu and the Estrella Familia, who is dead and long gone and doesn't exist anymore, besides maybe Estrella herself, I don't care. And every time that I feel like the episode starts with an Estrella flashback, or that it cuts to that, like, I just feel like it is fodder, or it's like just BS to break up the episode until we get to that next thing. Now, I know over the last couple of episodes, I've praised it for, it could have been a lot worse, and we could have multiple, like, episodes fully dedicated to, like, Ryu and her time at the Estrella family. So I am very, very, very thankful that they've done it in a very tasteful way, to where if they're going to do it, I rather it be the way we've gotten it and the way we are getting it, which is just these little minute flashbacks of little moments that Ryu has shared with them. But the reality is, every time it happens, like, I don't care about these characters. And even if we were to get time dedicated to them, they're gone. They no longer exist, right? They're dead characters. And I know that's harsh to say, but, like, I have no affinity towards any of these characters. I don't care if they exist or not exist within the show. So, every time I feel like we cut to that, or like this episode started with that, it's like, I just want to see what's happening to Belle and Ryu. I just want to see what's happening to Wolf and Lily and the group over here. I just want to see if, who's going to come and help them in the dungeon, right? Like, I just want to see what's happening currently. I don't really care about what happened before. So, again, I know it's just a controversial opinion. And you might love the Estrella Familia, the manga or light novel, whatever, might have dedicated multiple things, and they might be your favorite characters. They're just not mine. I just simply don't care about them. So I just want to throw that out there because, I just wanted to, see what you guys think about that. Now, regardless, outside of that, I thought this episode was absolutely incredible. Like, outside of that little, 60, 90-second piece in the beginning, like, I thought this episode was incredible. Like, and I know it might be cheesy, but this might be one of my favorite episodes this season. Regardless of what I said at the beginning, this might be one of my favorite episodes this season because of the focus that we had on Welf and him finding his inner, finding his inner self, right? Finding, his way, finding his motivation, finding who he is today, not who he was, not the family that he came from, not the familia that he came from before, but why is he a blacksmith? Why does he do what he does? What motivates his hammer, right? What drives his what stokes his flames, right? What drives him? And I really, really loved that we got that moment with not only seeing the head of his past familia. We got to see kind of different versions or different, nuances or different variations of himself in his mind. We got to see him struggling with the advice from his family, his blacksmith family, right? The Crozos. We got to see, all the advice that they gave him with, how metal should sound when they hit the fire and stuff like that. We got to see him struggle with all of that, and ultimately at the end of it, we got to find him finding himself, where and he even said it's like, oh, it's so stupid because I've known it all along that my hammer hits metal for my friends, for Belle, for my friends, right? They're the ones that they don't care who I was, they care who I am, and I think that's so important. And it was even so cool when the sound of his hammer hitting the metal changed, right? You could audibly hear the metal sound changing. It like lit a fire, or like it lit motivation in all the party. And I was like, that's hella dope. Then our boy finally finishes putting together the the weapon, the sword, the unbreakable, the sword that is blessed with divinity, right? And we saw his blood, sweat, tears, but mainly his blood fall into the fire, fall into the sword to kind of give it and breathe it life. I was like, God damn. So he's like, I'm gonna pass even the weapon created, for Bel. I'm gonna pass all of it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm gonna threaten the gods themselves from blacksmithing. It was like, yo, let's go, well. And then he pulls it off, and it's a dope sword. And I love how he pulled in my girl Cassandra, to really like drive it down. Like it blew up. I was like, yeah, let's go. I don't know. For me, it just it hit all the right things. It hit the right character. It drove the right emotions in me. And it was just a really, really, really hype moment. And the sword, super duper dope, right? And now I am also excited for what comes next to them. And I also love how Cassandra mentioned that, this was part of the prophecy. And what did she say specifically? Let me see. I think I wrote it down. She said part of her prophecy, which was the last part, was the great day star, the golden rays, the flames, right? I was like, yeah, let's freaking go. Let's go. So I don't know. I think that was an incredible moment. The other thing too is we had Ryu and Bel strip all the people that they found of all their items and stuff. One annoyance, I will say, like, outside of my hypeness for wealth, one annoyance I did have too was with Bel and his attitude or demeanor against survivability. Like when Ryu, she struggled with it too, so I completely understand, right? I know it's a silly thing to harp on, but like they are in a dire situation. They have one foot like basically in the grave at this point. And when Ryu brings up the, hey, we're gonna need to strip all these people of all their shit, Bel's like, no, absolutely not. We cannot desecrate the bodies. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, do you realize the situation you're in? You no longer have the option to have pride and a moral compass. It's, if you do, and if you want to hold on to that, just kill yourself. Just die off. Because, like, he's in a situation to where it's like, you got to do anything and everything. And I think eventually he got there. But the annoyance of it's like, yo, these people, they're dead. They've probably been dead for a long time. It's like, they've moved on, right? They've moved on to the next thing. They're already in the reincarnation process, whatever Danmachi preaches to it, which I think is like a process of reincarnation. They go up and they get pushed back down, right? They've already gone through that process. Afro dude already gone through that process. Like, they don't care what happens to their physical body anymore. Just like if I was in a dungeon and I got, chewed off by some monster and you come and grab my sword, it's like, yo, what do I need that sword for anyway? It don't matter to me. Take it. Take all of me. What do I mean? Leave me bones. Let me be bones. That's fine. Live on, So I just thought that was silly of how, like, yo, you do not realize the situation that you're in? You're going to have to make some shit decisions to live. You're just going to have to, period, the end. So it was a little bit of an annoyance for me. I was like, yeah, here we go. Yeah, Mr. Righteous Bel. And it just gets old sometimes. It's like, yo, I don't know. Just different. Anyways, it annoyed me a little bit, but it is what it is. They got there, together. They stripped them. They got their items. They found a map. And now they have a plan to... I think they want to go up to the lower floors because their other options go down to the 39th level, which has the safety zone. But going down is much worse than going up. But first, they have to get to a point where they can get back to the normal path. So it's going to be interesting to see what they decide. They're all geared up now for the most part. So they're good to go, at least as good as they can be. And Ryu can walk a little bit now, which is good too. But overall, incredible episode. A couple of things I didn't like about the episode, but that wealth stuff just made it like incredible for me. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. I appreciate you being here another week. And my friends, I'll see you guys next week. Let me know all the controversial takes you have in the comments below. See you next week. Peace.